everybody, I'm Merisu the Art Sheep, and thank you so much for checking out this video. And today I'm drawing KAGAMINE RIN and LEN of VOCALOID. A never Vocaloid drawing. And yeah, this actually wasn't supposed to be a never Vocaloid drawing since I already did one of Hatsune Miku. So when I start this whole race to 300 speed paints thing, I had all of my speed paints planned out on a list and with dates on when they would come out, and everything was nice and scheduled. And for the most part, I've been doing pretty good at following the schedule, but I have been doing a few things with said speed paints planned because I would like to draw one drawing sooner, or maybe draw one drawing later, or maybe just not draw something at all. And then I also wanted to draw some other things that came to mind, so I kind of been playing around with it. And at the very beginning draft, KAGAMINE RIN was on the list, but then I took her off since I did just do Hatsune Miku, who I think wasn't actually on the list at first, because I was going to do RIN because I like RIN more than I do Miku. No offense to Miku, I love her, but RIN takes the cake for me. I like more of her songs. I don't say I like all of RIN KAGAMINE songs, but most of the Vocaloid songs that I do like are RIN KAGAMINE and LEN KAGAMINE, not Hatsune Miku. But since V6 came around with Hatsune Miku, I decided to draw Miku, and then because I just did Miku, I decided to not do RIN. And I was going to draw Futaba from Persona 5, but then I was like, I just drew Haru, and I do want to get around to doing Futaba, but not right after I did some more Persona 5 fan art. So I decided to not do that, and I was going to try to draw Asa from the anime Yoma no Sugai, aka Demon of the Shadow Realm, which is based off the manga of the same name by Hiroma Akawara, who also did Fullmetal Alchemist. And I actually finished it, and it was completely done. And I even recorded the speed paint, the drawing was done, and I was looking at it, and I decided to take that drawing of Asa from Daemon of the Shadow Realm and nuke it into the Shadow Realm because it looked awful. Like, oh my goodness, it looks really bad. Speaking of looking really bad, if you're wondering why the sketch looks really funny, it's because I had completely the sketch pretty much done, and then I was exiting out because I had some other things that I needed to do. And you know that feeling when you are taking your mouse, you got it hovered over the don't save button, and you know not to click it, but your thumb clicks it anyway? Yeah, that's what happened. And the sketch was gone. It was all finished. I opened it up and it was like so far behind, and I was like, no, I don't want to try it again. Luckily I did record it, so I had like the video of it, so I took a screenshot of the video and then just blew it up, and that really did help, and it made me not have to draw RIN again. But I did end up having to draw LEN again because it did not look good. And yeah, like I said, I did plan to do RIN because I completely lost my train of thought that I was saying before. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I wanted to do RIN because she's my favorite Vocaloid, and I really did like her, but when I was drawing her, it kind of looked like a salt shaker without the pepper shaker. I just had to do LEN, so I ended up quickly coming up with this idea, and I do not like this idea, so it will end up joining the Asa drawing in a few seconds. I will completely resketch LEN because it just, awful. And, but for RIN, I am very happy with her, and I do think I did a pretty good job at fixing LEN. It's just a little bit more harder, and I don't know why. I have to remember if I ever I've drawn RIN before, but it wasn't in her normal outfit. It was from the PV, Tokyo Teddy Bear, so it was like that. And I forget if I've drawn her ever before outside of that. And I've drawn LEN before, but not digitally. I think I've only drawn them both together traditionally with my sketch pen and paper. In fact, there's this one drawing that I have and it looks really cute. I like it of them. But I don't think I've actually drawn them together digitally. And I don't think I've even drawn LEN digitally. I did have these original characters that were in the original Tales of Hollis back when it was Monogatari no Hollis, and it was of two characters that were based heavily off of Ren and Lin, and their names were Lapis and Lazar, and I guess that kind of gave me the feeling of drawing Ren and Lin, but outside of that, no, never drawn them. And that's a shame, because like I said, they are my favorite Vocaloids. I love Ren probably a little bit more in terms of sound to Len, but I think I like Len's character and his songs more than Ren. Between the two of them, I do have the most Ren and Len songs. Out of Vocaloid songs. Trying to think of all the ones I have. I have Superhero, I have, which is featuring Len KAGAMINE. I don't remember the artist who made these songs. I have the entire Mafi Chronicles of Evil series. My favorite ones of that obviously would be Servant of Evil and Daughter of Evil, which star Ren and Len KAGAMINE. And what else do I have? Electric Angel, that wasn't originally by them. I think that was by Miku, but I have their cover. I really like that. And then Fear Garden, Black and White Award, which are more creepier songs. And then a lot of Hitoshi Zukuyama songs of them. So like Synchronicity, Mistletoe, of the Reincarnated Tree, the Kingdom of Ruin, the Drought, within, no wait, it's called, The Prayer for Rain. Yeah, that's what it's called. I'm trying to think of all the Vocaloid songs, but enough of the Vocaloid songs. Let's talk about the characters. So for Rin and Len, I decided to go with my own interpretation of the outfits. So there's version 2 and version 4 and version 4 SP. So V2, V4, and V4 SP. I don't know what happened to V3 for them. It's the same thing with Miku. It's like, what happened to V5? Okay, I get maybe V1 was like the beta design, and that's why we don't talk about V1. But what happened to V5? Why is there no V5? It went from V4 to V6. And so V2, V3, V4, and then V6 for Hatsune Miku. And then for Ren and Lin, it was V2, and then a pen version, and then V4, and then V4 SP. And it's so weird. But, I was specifically basing it off of the original one, and V4 and V4 SP, because there was little elements that I liked about each one of them. For V4's design, I liked how the sleeves are done, how they're this kind of transparent fabric that kind of almost looks thick and rubbery. Doesn't sound comfortable, but it looks nice. And also it's got like glitter and such. And then I like the hangy strap thing in the original designs. I like how they're a bright yellow color, but I like certain elements of the color scheme with V4, because the one thing especially was Rin. So with Rin, you especially notice the difference between V4 and V4 SP, because they kind of go back, because they replace the like she wears like a Fuka uniform, and then the tie is the typical sailor tie, where it's kind of like two long ribbony things, but then they replace it with a bow in V4, and then in V4 SP they kind of changed it from like a thick, short, chubby bow into a long bow with long loops that kind of looks a little bit more akin to the original design. And in the end, I just went for the original design when it came to the bow, because I did really like it. So I was really just trying to blend all three designs together, and I really did like it. It was really fun. Len could have been a little bit better, but like I said, for some reason I was having trouble with him, and I don't know why. It's not like he's that hard to draw. It's not like it's... So I've always been not as good at drawing guys as I'm drawing girls. That's just the fact. And even when they're like more, you know, not extremely masculine boys, it's still just been a problem for me. But nonetheless, more softer boy like Len is more easier to draw than a more masculine guy compared to like, I don't know, Kaido, Gapo. Not saying that they're the peak of masculinity, but they got more of a traditional male frame compared to Len, who's more boyish, 14. So yeah, definitely easier, but for some reason it just wasn't as easy today, and I don't know why. That's what I was going to say earlier when my train of thought got cut off, is the reason why I decided to nuke the drawing of Asa is just because these speed paints are a hobby of mine. It's just something that I do for fun. But nonetheless, I still want to give it my all, because in addition to the fact of them just being something that I use to practice and get better at my art, and a good way to keep schedule, a good way to get used to things, it also does work as advertisement for my art. Like if I ever want to do like professional commissions one day, hopefully that would be nice, or if just commissions that I do right now currently, which by the way are open despite my schedule. You can message me on my socials if you want to commission. Information about that in the description below. But regular commissions, this is all promotional for my art, so I want to give it my best when I draw something. I want to put my best foot forward, so I don't want to put out something that just looks bad, because I did think about it, because I was like, it would have been just so much simpler to put out the drawing of Asa, because it was completely finished. The only thing I had to do was edit the video, and I was just gonna have it be that, but I was just like, nah, this looks awful, and I just do not feel satisfied giving this out, even though it has nothing to do with my pay, nothing to do with any financial gain. I just would not be happy with it, because I want to do my best. I really, really do want to try to do my best, and I really do like it. Oh, that was another thing with the SP version of RIN KAGAMINE compared to the V4, is that the shorts went back from light gray. So in the original version they were light gray, then they go to white in the V4 version, and in the V4 SP they go back to light gray. And I kind of like the light gray. I do like the white shorts, I like the color of them, I like how boingy they are, but it does look like a little bit too strong of a deviation from it. So I just decided to go with the one that is more like the other one. The one thing I did like about the V4S version is the speakers that they have on their legs, because originally they had paw prints on their legs. My brother didn't even notice that. But to be fair, he doesn't really look at their designs that much, because anytime he does see them, it's in PVs, music videos, and they're usually story music videos, because those are the kind of Vocaloid songs that he likes the most, which to be fair, I like those the most too. So because of that, Ren and Len are usually not in their typical outfits, so you never noticed. But yeah, they have like paw print design on their legs, and it's on the right leg for Rin and on the left leg for Len, because right and left, that's their entire gimmick. I even noticed, one person pointed it out, that when you do listen to most of their songs, you actually do hear Rin through the right speaker and Len primarily for the left speaker, so that is funny. It's not with all Vocaloid songs, but it is with a lot, and it's typically... Okay, so it's only though when they're singing together. If they're just singing by themselves, then you hear them through both speakers, because that would sound weird. But if they're singing together, then you hear Len through the left and Rin through the right. And I was going somewhere with that, but I completely forgot. It's just basically a whole left-right dynamic with them, which is just one of the many more reasons as to why I like them. Because, yeah, they're just really fun. I like their designs, and I don't even like yellow the most. My favorite colors would definitely be more blue, cyan, or pink, but my favorite Vocaloid isn't Kaito, it's not Meringue Luca, and it's not even Hatsune Miku. It's Rinlin, the yellow and yellowish-orange one. I hate orange. I hate orange with a passion, but yet that's usually typically the color they give to Rin, and I hate it. Nothing wrong with orange. I even look good at orange, but I just don't like it. I don't know why. What are the oranges for? We may never know. Meme joke. But anyway, for the coloring, I just wanted to keep everything very smooth, very glossy, very shiny. very kind of no, not cell shaded because it's definitely more than 3 colors, but definitely kind of like resembling the acrylic keychains that you would see, or the acrylic stands, because that's just what I like. I like that glossy shine to it. And then for RIN, I was pretty much, so I colored LEN first because I knew he would be more of a bothersome, because if I saved him for last, I just would not feel like doing him because I was not as satisfied with LEN's design. So I did him first to get him out of the way, and then I did RIN. And then once I was done with RIN, I then used that for a jumping off point to properly do LEN, because it's like, okay, I actually now know what I was trying to achieve, so I can go back and fix him and make him look not like crap, and it did help. I also realized I accidentally drew him 2 noses. There were some times where it's just like, why is the bucket tool not working? I've been on clipstudiopaint for over 6 years now. I should know how the stupid bucket tool works, but alas, here I am, unable to do it. And then usually I typically find out it's because I accidentally did something wrong, like, oh, why is the selection, the bucket is set to select layer only. Why is it selecting my colors? And then I realized I put my colors accidentally in the same layer as my select layer. So, not layer, but folder. And it's just like, oh, that's why it's not working. But to be fair to myself, I still am very stupid when using the bucket tool. Same thing with some other tools too, I just can't figure it out. Anyway, for the background, I decided to do this bright poppy background. It wasn't quite what I originally planned, because originally, my original plan just featured RIN, so I had to adapt it to include LEN too, because it was, instead of going to be like a square canvas, it's now a rectangle, so I had to really figure out what to do. But for the most part, I think I worked it out. Tried to make sure it was bright and poppy, but not too intimidating where it would be distracting, and I think I did a good job. Then I added the text, and yeah, there you go. I really do like it. I think it turned out good, especially considering the fact that it was really rushed. And it was supposed to come out sooner, but I ended up getting delayed again because something went horribly wrong with my house. Everything's okay, but a delivery did not come, and we were very upset. But besides that, everything all good, and I hope you liked the drawing, and if you did, do all the YouTube things, and if you did not, thank you so much for watching this far anyway. It means a lot to me. I will be back with another one, hopefully, real soon. Until then, bye!